loosened up. Shit, you guys didn't see that. Hey guys, I'm Tommy Clutch Creel again here with Training with a Twist. Today we're going to be running through diagnosing a starter Bendix issue. We've got a bike here the guy brought in, said, hey, not cranking over, what's going on with my bike? And after going through a few things on it, we could hear the starter Bendix actually grinding away. Starter Bendix has a few teeth on it that connect to your ring gear on your clutch basket, and you can apparently hear that. So today we're going to run through how to pull this off. This is a wet primary, not a dry primary. So the first step we want to do in removing that and getting access to the starter Bendix is going to be draining the oil. On this primary system, our drain bolt is located right back here. Conveniently enough, we have a drain pan right here. And what I'm going to do is crack this loose, pull out the bolt, and drain the oil. So I'm just threading this by hand, and then soon we should see some liquid. This is actually a magnetic drain plug, and you can see the metal built up all around the side right there. This definitely needs to be changed at this point. It should not have that dark of a color to it as well. It should have a lighter tint with the mileage that this bike does have. So we have a lot of metal on here, so we're going to have to look a little deeper once we get through that starter Bendix. So we're going to let the oil drain. First thing that we're going to do while we wait for that oil to drain is pull off our timing cover. I already started to do this, but what you want to do is you want to take this off in a crisscross pattern. You want to break each bolt loose, quarter turn, all the way around in either a crisscross pattern or a 5-star pattern, something as like your derby cover. That way it will help ensure that you're actually not going to contort or twist the case itself. So I'm going to pull these off by hand, keep the bolts where they are, and these bolts have a tendency to mate with the thread, so you do want to install these the way you pull them off. I either typically leave them directly like that right on the timing cover, or I'll lay them out right in front like this, showing them where they came off. And I'm doing this just because we clean everything before we put it on there. Next step, we're going to take the derby cover, crack each bolt loose, and there's our clutch assembly. Looks like we got most of the oil drained. I'm going to leave that open, but what we're going to start to do is crack all the bolts loose on our outer primary. What I'm going to do is start with the front, move them around, start cracking them loose in a crisscross pattern. Now what I do when I pull off these primaries, I actually take the bolts all the way out and leave them in there. That way when I pull this off as one piece, I put it to the side, all the bolts are already in there ready for installation again. I don't recommend using power tools on this. You'll see some of those builders and the old guys that used to be on TV, wink wink, using their faithful power tools. I like to do it by hand because you can feel it. And what I mean by that is if you feel something cross-threading or getting a little too tight, you're more prone to feel that. By doing it by hand, with a power tool, you're just going to zip right through and cross-thread it. So hand tools, even though it may take a little more time, it is a more beneficial way to make sure you save some dollars in your pocket too. I think I got all the bolts loosened up. Pull this cover off. We're going to flip it on over on a nice soft surface here. All right, so now that we've got the primary cover off, we can take a quick exam of everything that we've got going on internally. It looks like our chain is at a good tension. This is your tensioner right here. If you have any issues, this is how you provide more tension. This is your ring gear to your clutch basket. Your clutch plates are all in here. Your front sprocket is held right here. And then here's your starter bendix. And this is what the issue sounded to be. And if you can see in there, there's a lot of scarring and a lot of missing. So this, what's happening is you're hitting your button when you're starting your motorcycle. This jumps out, connects to your ring gear. Your ring gear is connected obviously to your clutch basket, turns all the way over to your front sprocket, which turns your crankshaft. Pistons start going, ignition starts firing. That's what starts your bike. So it's critical this is working. With this guy, we're going to take this off and look at it, but it looks like all the corners on this are rounded off, and he will probably need a new starter bendix for the outside here. And components to a starter bendix is what we have right here is a tab. You'll see it folded over the bolt. That helps secure that bolt to make sure it doesn't back out. And we're going to bend that back with the flathead and pull that right off. There's many, many ways to do this, so just going to take the tab, get it back down, and then take out our bolt here. And behind the starter bendix itself is a spring and a retaining clip that helps it pop out. So there's our bolt going directly to our starter. There's our freshly oiled spring that just popped out into our drain pan that we can move. And then here's our starter bendix itself. And I'll wipe this down a little bit so you can check it out. But most of these corners are actually rounded off, which is providing that it's slipping on the ring gear itself. So what we're going to need to do, order a new one, replace this. Installation is going to be the same way. We're going to take this, put it back in, drive our bolt through with red Loctite on that side, making sure all the oil is off this end, pushing that through, putting our locking tab in place, and when we put together the primary side, you're going to take the bolts as they came off and put them right back on, torque those down with 1/4 inch, you're good to go. Make sure all your gaskets look clean. Make sure all your seals look clean on your derby cover and also on the outside of your timing cover, and you're good to go.